Okay, so we're back again, and we're having a chat with Nick Jolliffe, Bryan Pepperell here, and Nick has been asking me about my vision for Wellington, and I really have to say that I'm a Democrat, probably a social democrat if you like, and the base for me is that I believe in democracy, so it's majority rule, minority protection and sharing the benefits, and so therefore any vision that one might have has to actually embrace in totality what democracy is, and that means effective and better engagement with the community and allowing them to participate in that democracy. So if you like, I'm a fan of participatory democracy. I want the citizens of Wellington to engage and make those important decisions about how we spend their money. Now, where do you want to take it from there?
Well, that's an interesting one, Brian, because I was watching the debate in Christchurch for the mayoralty there, and one of the candidates, and you know, without pointing in any direction, stated that he wanted to throw open the doors of City Hall, and one of the things which stood out for me was that he said he no longer wanted the bureaucrats in the executive running the city.
Yes.
Is that something which you see with regard to things like the waterfront and so on?
I do indeed, but you see, it's wider than that, because it's the very foundation to our culture and society. The paradigm that we are running with has come under challenge, and the fact of the matter is we actually need a new paradigm. We've been a monolithic fuel-based culture for 150 years, if you like, and it's now reached its zenith and is actually on the decline, because we've actually gone into what the people who understand these issues term peak oil. That is to say that we're now using more oil than we can produce. Demand is greater than supply. And it isn't just about looking for an alternative transport or a different way of moving people, because actually when you get a energy decline like peak oil, it affects everything. It's not just transport, it's your whole way of life is actually turned on its head.
So do you see the local government in Wellington's sense in particular, say, taking some degree of leadership and saying, look, we need to respond to this on a local level and do things? Transport you mentioned, but more importantly we're talking about how people socially interact, where they go to work, what kind of buildings the city infrastructure is consisting. Is it all of those things, Brian? It
is, and absolutely it's all of those things, and it's all of those things that we haven't been attending to. So the first thing is that we need to liberate the workforce. If we're going to have a decrease in our energy supply, we need to have a better utilisation of existing energy and assets, and the way we do our transport privately and publicly all needs to be re-examined. So my idea is that with liberating the workforce, working closer to home, growing and trying to grow food locally, cutting down on all the extra unnecessary running around, and when you are using private transport, that you use it in a more efficient way. So I want to encourage people to carpool as much as possible, get out of their cars, walk, use bicycles, use the information highway, not come into work as often as possibly they have in the past, and just, you know, a whole new approach to a diminishing resource.
And one of the things which can make a very positive benefit around the city, I've noticed, there's a demand for people wanting land to grow stuff on. You've got community gardens and groups doing that. Are you in support of those initiatives, freeing up council land for them?
I think we must have community gardens and orchards, because we're going to actually have a lower standard of living. And while this is not being demonstrated across the board, I mean, for example, the council recently gave the chief executive a $19,000 pay increase. You know, all of that has to actually stop, because people won't stand for it, and we're going to actually have a convulsion. There'll be some kind of you know, upheaval, because people will just say this is too much. You know, where it's the differential, the...
So what you're looking at here, Brian, is for the council to take a lead, to actually show some leadership in a changed environment and a changed...
the world's changed. The world has changed, only the mindset of the council hasn't. And absolutely we have to, or we'll perish.
Okay. Well, on that note, I'd like to say thank you to Brian for answering the questions, and that's pretty good. I hope you'll vote for him on the day. I'll certainly be voting for him.
And
so,
thank you very much. And I mean, as we move forward into the future, this is something we have to all do together. It's not really about me and my vision, it's about how we can actually deal with this incredibly pressing problem of a paradigm shift. The way we do everything has to change. And so we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.